Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cult Classic Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
We're giving you a classic us, a 90s movie, and one that none of us have seen for a long time and holds up pretty well.
Funny enough, this is the first time watch for me. Have not seen this movie before.
First time for Mark.
Awesome.
Oh, good for you. We're giving you the 1998 film, Enemy of the State. When lawyer Robert Dean bumps into an old college friend while Christmas shopping, he has no idea that his life is about to be turned upside down. Unbeknownst to him, he becomes targeted by a corrupt politician and his N.S.A. goons when he accidentally receives key evidence to a politically motivated crime. With state-of-the-art 1998 surveillance, will an innocent man be able to evade capture and clear his name, or will the power of a corrupt government cover up their misdeeds? Enemy of the State.
Directed by Tony Scott, the guy who brought you Top Gun, Crimson Tide, Man on Fire, Deja Vu, Unstoppable, and maybe more Denzel Washington stuff. Starring Will Smith, Gene Hackman, Jon Voight, Lisa Bonet, Regina King, Stuart Wilson, Lauren Dean, Barry Pepper, Jason Lee, Jack Black, and uncredited Jake Busey, Jamie Kennedy, Seth Green.
I'd say this is a forgotten Will Smith starring kind of action film from the 90s. It doesn't get the credit it deserves.
It gets lost in the sauce, I think, almost as a espionage type thriller as well.
This is an awesome 90s technology surveillance spy get-em movie.
Kind of at its core, it's a little bit of a buddy cop film too, just in the middle of nowhere.
True.
Like, throw it in there too.
Enemy of the State.
Okay, cast and crew. Directed by Tony Scott, older brother of Ridley Scott.
Is it relation to Ridley Scott in any way?
Yes, I'm Ridley Scott. We know him from The Martian, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, Alien.
Big, long action movies, you know.
Yep. This guy's worked with Denzel Washington a lot, so you definitely know his work. R.I.P. passed away in 2010 or 2012. It looks like.
Did not know that.
Starring Will Smith.
You know, I don't know where we're landing on him right now, but this is a good movie regardless of what he's become today.
What do you mean? Are we still salty about the Chris Rock thing?
I don't know how people feel. I just know that
I'm over it. You're over it. Chris Rock's over it. We're all over it.
I
Get
enjoy
over
this
it.
movie. I know that much.
Let him present at the next Oscars. All I know is he was a movie star. He's not anymore. But damn if he didn't have it.
True.
We've done Independence Day. Cameron loves Hancock.
I don't hate Hancock. I'll say that much.
Do you not?
It's not.
I conceptually like the idea of
It's not good. It's
What, an
kind.
alcoholic
bad movie,
bum
though.
that becomes a superhero?
It's kind of enjoyable.
a superhero that becomes an alcoholic bum.
Oh, vice versa. Got it.
I think they're just
Yeah,
angels, though.
you gotta
I'm
be
pretty sure
superhero
they're angels the whole time. It's not.
I think if a bum became a superhero, they'd be way, way evil.
I don't want to. I don't
those
want
are
to
called
get you in
villains.
trouble here, but was that not one of the movies that we watched after hours at the Castle Theater?
Probably. Yeah, I think it might have been. Here's what I'll say. Not a good movie, entertaining movie. Kind of.
This is our second Will Smith movie. I know the scandal happened, but it seems like we'll probably get to Men in Black someday. And
Gene Hackman plays Brill.
you're going to want to go back and listen to The Replacements episode for
I
sure.
think that might be the only thing we've done with him, but we recast him a hell of a lot, so he's brought up in our podcast.
It's going to be tough to recast him in this role, but I think I'm still going to go with Gene Hackman for the Gene Hackman role.
Recast the recasted. Jon Voight plays Thomas Reynolds.
You're going to want to go back and listen to our Anaconda episode that came out not too long ago, my favorite of his work.
If you want to see a man from a seated position jump and choke hold out a woman with his thighs, you're going to listen to our Anaconda episode.
The weird thing about Jon Voight is in the 90s, and I know he's not playing Nazis, but he's playing Nazi-like characters in every movie he is.
He just looks
bad and evil.
I think it's
He's
just
Nazi
the way he
youth.
He
looks.
did it.
shorthand.
He used to be a leading man in the 70s, you know.
True.
Like when he was young, he was attractive. He was in like Oscar type movies. And then in our childhood, it's just like, is that guy a Nazi? It's like, I don't
Off
think
the riff,
there's
give me
Nazis
one.
in the N.S.A. is there?
Give me one of those. Give me an Oscar nom 70s Jon Voight movie.
Oh, Midnight Cowboy.
Okay.
It's him and Dustin Hoffman.
I'm just
line where I'm walking here. It comes from that movie.
Oh,
Really
wow, okay.
happened. A taxi almost hit
Dustin
him. It was
Hoffman,
an
though.
improvised line.
Lisa Bonet plays Rachel Banks.
We've done something with her before, and I can't remember what.
High Fidelity. We did not do the Cosby Show yet.
Yeah, so that's it, right? And then obviously being the mother to who's her kid now? That's
Zoe Kravitz.
in everything. Zoe Kravitz.
Kravitz,
Yep.
yeah.
That's kind of what I know her for the most, being Zoe Kravitz's mom now, which is weird.
Kind of, yeah.
Cosby Show's her biggest thing, though, probably, right?
That's where I recognize her from. Yep.
Oh, I'm just being, it seems like a cool motherfucker, right? And whatever.
She just seems just smooth and cool.
Smooth and cool. She's living jazz. She doesn't play it, but she lives it.
That makes so much sense, even though it doesn't. Like, I get that. Like, it's giving clarinet. It's giving jazz flute. It is.
Clove cigarettes. It's cool. It's smooth.
Regina King plays Carla Dean, the wife of Will Smith in the movie.
I feel like she has to have been in a cop show that you love, Mark.
Oh, it's not even really a great show. It's Southland, though. It's like an L.A., like,
that was just a shot in the dark, and I just had a good feeling.
Yeah, you got it right. Southland. I was into that for a bit. She plays a lot of voices, or a couple voices in the Boondocks.
I'm not sure if I've
Ray,
seen
Mighty Joe Young with Charlize Theron. I love Mighty Joe Young.
that. Similar to George of the Jungle. Go back and see George of the Jungle.
It's not at all like George.
You know what I kind of know her from the most? She's got a big career, but she's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s wife in
Radio?
No, he's not married. He's not married. He doesn't have a
We're
sure not married.
The scuba diving movie, Men of Honor?
No, sorry, no. Just give me a second.
Yeah,
The radio really threw me off. No, she's in
the submarine movie?
Jerry Maguire. That's
go.
it. That was all the lead up.
There
It's just,
we go.
She plays the wife in Jerry Maguire, but she's in a million things. Miss Congeniality. I think she's one of the detectives in that. She's just all over the place.
Okay. Barry Pepper is in this movie as one of the goons.
Go back and see our 61 and Saving Private Ryan. Mark, let's go rapid fire here quick. We'll all just go, we'll name something we know him
Sure.
from.
We didn't do Saving Private Ryan.
Jake Busey, we've done Starship Troopers and Christmas with the Cranks. He's the cop in Christmas with the Cranks.
Stay tuned for Cameron's solo episode on Contact.
I do love Contact.
Speaking of Contact, we've got Scott Conn.
Father of James Conn. Ocean's 11, the Ocean series.
Jason Lee, Jack Black, Seth Green. Sorry, I'm trying to rapid fire here. We've got Anna Gunn,
please
Skyler
do.
from Breaking Bad. It's littered with names you know.
However many people you think are in the tech crew, double it.
Jimmy Kennedy, Dan Butler, Ian Hart, Professor Quirrell. There's a troll in the dungeon.
Oh yeah, that is him.
It sure is.
Lauren Dean from Say Anything, Apollo 13. He's Hicks. He's the sort of like right hand man to John Voight. I think that's kind of it.
This movie has huge star-studded cast. We don't need to break down every single person.
At the time, no, but now it's like, holy fuck, this is like an Ocean's movie.
I won't do recasting, but the only person I think they missed is Giovanni Ribisi, and then they got every one of these motherfuckers you could put in a crew.
That's true.
From the 90s. Like, they got I can't recast it. They're all in there.
With that, we're going to move it on to Unverified. Welcome to the Cult Classic Movie Phone. It's November 20th, 1998, and currently in theaters you could have seen Babe, Pig in the City, the sequel to Babe.
That's the name of the cat. That's the name. That's the name.
I might
of
have seen that in the
cat.
theaters, actually.
Babe, Pig in the City? A Bug's Life. Rear Window, the remake with Christopher Reeves. The Rugrats movie, the original.
Go to Paris.
Nope, that's the second.
Got it.
Lost in the Woods. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, the sequel.
Go back and listen to
I
our
don't know.
What You
I
Did
can't
Last
remember if we
Summer.
did this or
do
not,
that?
but I'll Be Home for Christmas. Did we do that?
Is that JTT? JTT?
Sure
It's
is.
JTT, right?
Meet Joe Black.
Hey, I'm Death. I want to fuck your daughter.
That's it.
You can live a week longer. There you go.
The Siege. The Water Boy.
Oh.
But you chose Enemy of the State.
I actually did choose Waterboy.
I think you
remember.
did. You did choose Waterboy.
I chose Waterboy.
You chose Waterboy?
Yeah, but my mom rented Enemy at the State.
True.
That was a good choice for everybody.
Yeah, that was a fun watch at home. So just a little reference here. A lot of people refer to this as the sequel to the 1974 film The Conservationists, also starring Gene Hackman. The Conversation, sorry, autocorrect there.
Is it not the exact same character, though? It's just kind of like he's playing a similar character, or is he playing the same character?
People say it is the same character. It's just he's going under a new pseudonym kind of situation. And also because they do use the same picture of his character from that movie.
You know, in this day and age where nothing's dead and Stephen King's made a universe,
Sure.
I like that. Bring it back. If you had a character, don't explain it. Just be like, we're going to use this character now in this one.
Oh my God, it's Jason
I'm taking him with
Bourne.
me. Yeah, no shit. Yeah. Here's some budgetary information. $90 million budget. Seems reasonable.
Pretty big.
A lot of people you got to pay. 2 movie fucking stars and all the... I don't actually know what the graphics would be. You know, they go to space and give us some CGI, but that seems pretty practical.
Yeah. Out of that, what you said, 90 mil, 900 mil? 90 mil?
Couldn't be much.
Actors Guild
What is he,
insurance.
What's he getting? 60
Yeah,
grand?
he's getting
What's
scale.
He getting? More than 100? 6 figures? 7?
It made $250 million, though.
Wait, now what was
just
the budget?
FYI.
Oh, 250, and it was
$90 million budget,
Oh,
made
okay.
$250 million.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. The N.S.A. refused to cooperate with the production, so all aerial footage of the headquarters of Fort Meade in Maryland was just from public.
I mean, that makes
airspace.
sense. You don't want to just give out all your intelligence.
Well, which is odd though, because I did also read that all the coordinates they shouted out were the FBI headquarters, and
CIA
some
headquarters.
yeah, the ones they listed were the the geographical coordinates. So they did give them. So I don't know.
You know what they should have done? But did you guys not hear that we have Gene Hackman and Will Smith in this movie? Come on, play some ball.
Well,
and then they froze everybody's bank account.
Well, maybe not yet, because Gene Hackman turned down the movie several times, and he was finally convinced after a phone call with Tony Scott. And then Will Smith signed on it with a bargain price after that post-Independence Day, where he should have been, had actually a pretty good bargaining chip, but he wanted to work with Gene Hackman. So it actually might not have been too much for both of them, because he took a pay cut. I don't have how much, but he took a
That's
pretty
always
cheap
cool,
price for
hearing
it.
that type of insider stuff.
But then just several years later, Gene Hackman's like, did you say Keanu Reeves? You signed me up. I'm not even going to read the script.
Yeah, 10 years later, Gene Hackman's like, I'm just going to toss it in. We're not going to act anymore. I was looking at his IMDb. I'm like, did this guy die? Did I forget? Did I just miss that? No, he retired from acting in 2007.
Huh.
He's one of those few actors that announced the retirement, I guess because he lived long enough and he was able to do it. But I don't think he's come back since 2007.
Do you want to know the craziest fact I found on this? So, the storm drain car chase scene where Will Smith's in the tunnel?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was actually just a large air duct tunnel below the actual Fort McHenry Road in Baltimore. So the only way to get down there was through an access tunnel, and they couldn't fit the cars down there. So they had to cut the cars into 2 to 4 pieces and then reassemble them down in that tunnel. So just because it was there wasn't pedestrians, they had it to themselves. And then afterwards, they had to chop up the cars and get them back up the access
That's what I
tunnel.
think Lower Wacker is in Chicago. It's
just a lower
you
access
just have
tunnel?
to, you have to
That's pretty much what
disassemble your car and then get in and out of there. GPS, you got nothing.
Lower Whacker to me is like getting stuck underwater. You just got to surface as quickly as you can.
That's exactly right.
Out. Once
You
you get to the top,
gotta get
you
out.
got to get back
out.
to the top because you do not want to drown down there. You'll be down there forever, Cameron.
If you want a visual reference, it is the bad part of Gotham in the Dark Knight series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did wonder about this when I was watching it. I didn't remember at the time, but the portable game system that Dean Sun uses is the TurboGrafx 16. Which had, or wait, is that it? No, it's the NEC Turbo Express.
Nintendo.
It was the Game Boy's, it was the Game Boy's competitor.
So was that like Sega's?
Oh,
possibly.
That kind of like
NEC
Sega Game
Turbo
Boy?
Express, I think so. It had a TurboGrafx 16, so it had, I think, 16 colors, whereas I think...
Put a pin in that because I have some technology questions from that standpoint.
Sure, that's all I know. That's all I know.
You want to go
try.
now? Did it fit floppy disks?
Yeah, there's no
It
way
fit
that
right
fucking
in.
floppy disk.
Yeah,
I mean,
Game Boy-
maybe it could have
A
slid
Game
in
Boy
there.
cartridge
but
does not just fit.
It's just
in any
falling
other-
out.
It just doesn't.
No.
So as I do, I take a little bit of notes before I watch the movies, especially if I have not seen one before. This was one that I had not seen. Second build, Gene Hackman. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy coming in? We're an hour into the movie. I haven't seen him yet. He comes in like
yeah.
56 minutes into the movie. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God. I get. He's kind of
I kind of like movies like that though, where the posters are a little deceiving. You're like, when's he coming? Or vice versa. And we're like,
it's almost like the opposite of like.
To Mark's
Scream,
point,
Drew
though,
Barrymore.
as a rewatch, I'm like, man, he really doesn't come in for a while.
Yeah, I honestly kind of forgot it too. I was thinking that when I was watching, I was like, where's Gene Hackman?
I thought that was kind of stunning.
I don't remember this car. Tell me if you do. But the commercial in the background on Jason Lee's TV is for the EV1, GM's first ill-fated electric car.
Really?
Nope.
We had electric cars back then?
1998. Tried 1998. Technically, if you want to get back to it, though, a lot of the automakers had electric cars in New York that they and their families used, and they had their own like charging meters outside of their usual bars and like stores and stuff.
The building that served as Brill's workplace, the jar is what I think he calls it. The sort of it was originally a Dr. Pepper plant. I don't know if PhD Pepper would approve of that.
I'll tell you what, it seems like a sad place to work. Granted, it's closed now and maybe a little decrepit, but I don't like knowing that my favorite soda pop comes from.
It reminds me a lot of the parishes and the shoe plant from Jumanji.
I actually I don't know. There must have been some ESP because I'm like,
that's the old parish place.
I can see that.
Yeah, but when they go back,
yes, correct.
In modern day. When he's like, is my dad still working? It's like, oh no, I disappeared in the jungle for 4 years and he's dead.
Upstairs. Yeah, he's in the
that parish
main office.
Go back and listen to
the last one I have is Thomas Reynolds, the John Voight character. Interestingly, it did kind of ping when I heard it. His birthday is September 11th. And ironically, this is obviously what sparked the Patriot Act, which was essentially their surveillance society bill that they were working on in their movie. So it did pass. It was just under the Patriot Act. Three years after the movie.
The old jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
I didn't say that. That's what you always say.
No.
That's your thing, man.
Just if you were playing along at home, it did get second for its opening weekend. It did finish behind Rugrats,
really?
The movie.
That took it?
Yeah.
I mean, I did see that in theaters opening. Rugrats.
I mean,
Tommy, Chucky.
Mark, I think you were with me. I think we all
Sure.
saw it in theater. It was like you, me.
I put my money in that pot for sure that weekend.
So,
I did.
It was a big deal, Jordan. It was a big cartoon. Well, on that note, should we move it on to questions?
Comments.
Animosities. Questions, comments, animosity. I'm going to get one I wasn't expected to ask.
Which one? A question, a comment, or a name?
Question.
Sure.
Is this a Christmas adjacent movie?
It's a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas.
If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, this is a fucking Christmas
Bruce,
movie.
That's
it's
all
way
I'm saying,
more of a Christmas movie
Bruce
than Die
Willis,
Hard.
before he
I don't
lost his
think-
capacity, said it wasn't a Christmas movie, so it's not. And this is Christmas adjacent because it takes place.
Adjacent.
There's Christmas things. Christmas is mentioned, but this does not give you Christmas feels whatsoever. This is not a.
If you're in the standpoint that you think that Die Hard and Batman, the second Batman,
well, the second Batman is a little more Christmas.
They are littering. They're littering tinsel, lights, presents, Santas. Lights, presents,
Christmas shopping in the beginning,
movie.
but you know.
Anyway, is that where you thought we were going to go, listeners? Yeah, you let us know if you think this is a Christmas movie. If you think Die Hard is,
one
you
thumbs
do.
up
If
for
you
Mark.
don't,
I got a comment,
Down.
probably an animosity, really, for you.
Fuck.
There would be physical evidence at the crime scene of the murder of the congressman at the beginning. They stabbed him in the neck with a needle. There's going to be some sort of like poison evidence. There's going to be something.
You're talking about autopsy or literally at the scene?
Autopsy. I'm just saying they're leaving evidence. There's a lot of them there.
I thought that too. I think you can test for poison.
Yeah, of course. They're going to
drugs.
Yeah, and granted,
not only that, I think the entrance of the car being backed in is weird. I just don't think that's how it would happen. I don't think that's how any of it would happen.
well, also
I
like
don't remember parking brakes like that either. Like that pole system. Never seen that.
and also just for like a surveillance, like they didn't notice the one camera in the park pointing directly at where they planned to do a murder. Like,
Well, it's literally one of the smaller ponds I've seen at like a fishing game situation. Like how do you not at least walk around?
yeah, and see that
And
big box with a hole in a lens.
See the big
sticking out.
It's
this
clearly
is
a
why
camera.
you do not walk in nature. Best case scenario, you see a duck. Most likely, you're seeing a murder scene.
And if
Or
I'm
a
Jason
crime scene
Lee,
somewhere.
like maybe I'm a little paranoid, but if I see like a crime scene right where my camera's pointed, I'm going to come back and pick that up later. I'm going to maybe come back tomorrow.
Guy's just doing his job. He's like, what's going on over there?
I thought that too, but
yeah,
the cops in the Fish and Game are going to see that. They're going to go around. They're going to confiscate your equipment. Then now you're involved more than you want to be.
Yeah, really. Even the cops didn't go and be like, "Oh, look, there's a camera pointed directly at our crime scene." Like, no one saw that.
It actually just seems more lazy. We know that John Voight's crew, it's like 45 deep. Not one of them swept the perimeter for any camera, and that's all they fucking do all day.
I think a situation like this calls for a sniper. I don't know if you need to litter the medication on the floor. I think it dissolves in the water. I don't know why you're doing any of that.
I don't think any of this needs you, Congressman, or whatever John Voight. Yeah, he shouldn't be anywhere near anything. He shouldn't be someone confidently, by the end of this, jumping ahead a little bit, but confidently holding a gun. Like, who is this guy?
Well, that's a question, right? So John Voight's there. Do you think going into the meeting,
he's a politician?
Obviously, they were. Well, no, John Voight's.
He's even just part Gene Hackman's like, he's not like an actual company man. He's just a politician getting a bill passed.
Yeah, he's just going around to Cracker Barrels and like talking to the town. He doesn't know how to hold a gun.
Yeah, he's not even like the leader of that shit. I'm pretty sure that's what Hicks is kind of.
I think that he's just like a committee head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but he's chairman of something.
Important. Yeah, but I don't think he's an actual politician. I think he's like a department head of the N.S.A. Now, the question is, why does
John Voight, you're right. You are right.
I think Gene Hackman says that, but I'm not sure if it's verified or not. I think he's just being like, he's definitely like a suit kind of thing.
Yeah. What's confusing to me is with John Voight, it seems like he's part of a committee. They're like, whoever released this information, we're going to crack some skulls. And then he's like, let me talk to my boys and we're going to cover this up. I'm not going to lose my ass on this. I don't know why he has such a dedicated department to murder and evil.
Why is everyone so willing to be complicit with this conspiracy and murder? Like, no one...
Yeah, if the bill gets passed, I don't know how much that affects John Voight.
Well, or more importantly...
It seems like they're not following the rules anyway. Just continue to not follow
do other
rules.
Stuff, yeah. Well, do other nefarious stuff.
Well, more importantly, to Jordan's point, like, and especially for a bunch of IT guys, like, why would they want to get their hands dirty at all? They'll keep this job. They might just not get used as much, but like, they'll be fine. They're government employees.
So, this does pose a question. What's interesting about this, the movie really does start off with a banger. Before we get into any plot, this is the opening scene, right? We're still on that. I don't know. It seems like they went in there to premeditate. If he says no or gives us trouble, we're going to kill him because we're bad guys.
He did have an out. If he would have played ball, they wouldn't have killed him.
Should have played ball.
But Barry Pepper just seems ready.
You can't play ball always. You can't always play ball.
No kidding. When it's like complete evil, seems like he played ball. He's like, the ball is over, and then you get a needle in the neck. Now, John Voight and Barry Pepper in it. I don't know if the whole tech crew was in on it. Right? Did they know the whole entire time we're covering this up?
Yeah. How do you not know?
Like, it seems like everybody's 100%.
We allude to that at the end when Jack Black starts feeling guilty and he makes that recording. Then even at the end when they're being interrogated, he's like, "You didn't know," and I think it's Jamie Kennedy that says, "We thought it was a training exercise." So like the way,
but they were bullshitting.
Yeah, the way they're answering is like, we knew, but they saved some of the ITs.
Oh, Cameron, that's why he said that at the end? I was wondering, like...
Some of the fun ones we like Jack Black and Jamie Kennedy at the end, got away.
So this was my first viewing. When
you mean the only two that made it?
Yeah.
When he flipped the record, Jack Black flipped the record to capture the confession, I'm like, oh, did Gene Hackman...
He flipped him. He with that, like, do you guys know you're being complicit right now? He got in his head.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if it was at that moment or it was an inside job from like way in the beginning.
They knew what they were doing because even when at the beginning, the whole time they're like being like, keep us undercover. Like they're all kind of like whispering at the beginning, like this is some dark undercover shit we're doing. Like some of the guys in the main office know for sure. It's when they bring on the crew cuts and some of the other crew, and when we expand
the crew cuts,
that's when like some people might not know. Also. Question.
Yeah, but they're just like mercenaries, right? They're like, whatever. You pay us some money, we're gonna bang up some.
You can tell by their haircuts.
I like how it was. John Voight was like, let's just keep this between the team, the small team, and it's 50 fucking tech guys and mercenaries. Like it's a huge fucking team.
Yeah, it's like the NASA like Houston station of just computers everywhere. So,
I mean, if you got the manpower, you can ruin one man's life in half a day. If you got the wherewithal and the tech, and then if you can take a computer and go enhance, zoom, enhance, and that's all there is to it. Sometimes.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things. Enhance.
Enhance.
I'd love to
I
have
have it here.
Enhance guy on hand.
There's not a chance. Animosity in 1998, you could zoom in and change the angle of a camera that doesn't exist.
Can't do that.
Cameron's the N.S.A.
They didn't have that.
You couldn't in 1998. They obviously
They
could.
couldn't either, Jordan. They couldn't. Do it.
So out of all
I will
the
say to Jack
things-
Black's defense. Sorry, Jordan. To Jack Black's defense, he said the camera can hypothesize. It wasn't an actual image. The camera is hypothesizing.
Mark, I'm just getting AI on my cell phone. You're telling me that 1998 computer, when I saw Jason Lee's like, no.
Jack Black had Chat GPT. He did.
I just got on my phone the other day. Also, I just do want to bring it up again.
Get that off of there.
Comment, we've talked about it, but star-studded cast. Like every single person in this movie is a hitter of some sort.
Well, becomes a hitter.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not at the
maybe
moment.
Not, but I even feel like when I watched this movie, like half of the crew, I was like, oh, I know that person. Like even at the time, I kind of knew him from the B characters and other things.
Correct.
But even all the way to Tom Sizemore plays like the mob boss guy. Mm-hmm. In that moment, watching that, and he's I'd say the role I know him for the most is Saving Private Ryan.
Also, Barry Pepper following this.
Yeah, true. You could toss in so many. Yeah, you could toss in anybody into this crew, and we'll get to that. But in that moment, watching Tom Sizemore as the mobster, I'm like, man, you could have made Sopranos with him as easy peasy.
I agree with that.
It would have been really good. I think they're both passed away, actually.
Uncredited Tom Sizemore.
Yeah. He's the mobster at the end. Okay, so I feel like we went
for the whole fucking movie.
Oh, sorry. I feel like his end is where he really,
that's true.
Lives it up. Get the family out of here.
Let's not go to the end quite
bang.
yet. So this is sort of inside my head. Me taking notes, watching the movie. This is what I wrote down. It's kind of funny. First watch, someone easily could have seen the assassination go down, huh? And then my immediate next take is, oh, how did they not see the fucking the camera across the fucking way? That's the whole plot of the movie.
It is weird. This is one of those if you hadn't seen it for a while, you're like, how do we get into this whole thing again?
That's it, all right.
And you're like, oh, this whole fucking 20-minute thing happens before we even meet Will Smith.
And again, back to the cast, it's just like another one of those things as you're watching, you're like, oh no shit, they were in this, huh? I kind of remember.
I think the ultimate one is Jack Black. I just didn't remember being in this.
Yeah, me
actually.
either.
Seth Green makes sense.
He's a great sort of tech man in the chair guy.
Okay. A couple things I want to go on before we even get into the whole crutz. I got some questions about Will Smith buying Christmas presents for his wife.
Sure.
And
Wait, what kind of presents, Jordan?
They're Christmas presents. This movie is most certainly set. 20% of the scenes take place at Christmas. That is without a doubt.
Sure.
I'm just saying, did you watch this last December? After
no,
Elf?
this isn't a perennial. This isn't after What's a Wonderful Life. No, but you stumble across it and oh my goodness.
Maybe you start late November.
Hey, maybe you watch it November 20th on its release date in 1998. Maybe
I'm not watching it around Christmas.
Not a bad November release though. No. If you saw this November 20th, you're like, oh yeah, Christmas is right around the corner. Oh, the government
I
is
should do my shopping soon.
Yeah. Speaking of shopping, what kind of lingerie stores do you guys go to?
Not S&M weird dark dungeony ones.
Yeah. There is most certainly a glory hole type situation in that room, or I'm just gonna check out this room and see what's going on, and then
Trickle Down Unverified. That was actually filmed at a famous, I think it was a gay bookstore in L.A.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Trickle Down Unverified, much of that scene was ad-libbed by Will Smith. He said he found it very hard to cut the comedy out of this action role.
Will Smith, I mean, this does remind me, he's so much charisma. He was a movie star.
He was.
I mean, this, you probably guys came to this when we went through recasting. It could be so many people. It's kind of just the leading man
role.
And
don't worry, I do have a lot of what ifs. A couple.
Yeah, me too. I wrote them down for my casting, but I'm going to give you who I want to see in a role like this.
Whoa.
We're not there.
Nope. I'm not doing it.
Whoa.
Still might take one of ours.
You're about to recast.
No, I'm just saying.
Save it for
I'm saving it. I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, I had a long list for this role. But,
I need to get you off these rails here. Scott Conn with the biggest neck I've ever seen. In a movie.
But it's
You're
Will
not going to
Smith.
stop him. You're not going to stop this train.
Will
He's
Smith
nice,
carries
keep
the
going.
movie. Like, it's such a good Will Smith role. Like, he really is that charismatic and charming.
Okay,
And
you get that's
Again,
fine.
which is
You
why I say it's
that.
kind of a forgotten movie. It doesn't get its credit. It's good.
we saw it in Men in Black. You put him with an old man,
It works.
old man, young man dynamic. It just works for him.
So comment.
Yeah, even though it's not a good cop, bad cop, it does kind of have that
Yeah.
sort of buddy cop.
Yeah, because you got the old
mentality.
curmudgeon guy.
And at its heart, like, because the tech crew, even though they're bad, it feels like we're in a heist movie. Half of
Well,
it.
because they're
right?
funny and likable,
That's
so
why
you're
I
almost
loved
rooting for them at the same time, but not. You're rooting.
Yeah, I mean, there's the only two people I'm not rooting for is John Voight's character and his lackey.
Hicks.
The suits in the desk. I don't like them. They're up to bat. Everybody,
guys-
Barry Pepper's a little bad too. Everybody else is.
I don't know about
You guys know
Busey,
my
but he's
favorite
definitely a little unhinged, maybe.
That
my
character, Barry Pepper's character is dedicated to the job. Watch his face and every
Every time he's running,
tiring
it is a
performance.
grimace.
Grueling performance he's giving. Man, I would read that script and I'd be like, I am gonna pass. Do you have anything inside the van for me to play? Any inside the van work I could do?
I don't like any movie that starts with a sad dog situation.
Well, the dog lives.
The dog lives, but he's sad
Well,
for the rest of its being.
true. Let's face it, the dude from that baseball movie
There's sad
and
dog
Parenthood,
stuff.
he's looking pretty frail anyway. I don't think he had much longer.
Yeah. The dog was given so much support. It might be a relief. He's in a better
Oh, thank
place.
God he's gone.
Oh,
Finally.
thank God. And it sounds like that guy was, even though he passed on this bad deal, probably did a bunch of bad stuff before that.
Oh, he did a bunch of bad stuff. Yeah, passed some weird laws. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
Dog-
get in that meeting doing good stuff.
The dog
you know
was
what I mean?
fostering him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad
In
stuff,
reality.
just comment. Seems like it would have been easier for them to kill Will Smith real early on. Kill his family. Who gives a shit? Search the whole house. Get the tape. Like, just before it gets big, before he can hide it, just
You're getting mud. You're getting dirt on your hands at that point. I mean, I get what
they
you're
killed
saying.
a congressman in a park.
Hear me out.
Daylight.
I think the
forest
I think
preserve.
the
I don't think it was
quicker
like a
one
straight
is
shot.
don't use the heroin addict to try to get into the bird watcher's apartment. Just kill the guy. Just barge in and kill that guy. No one's gonna know. You don't have to get to Will Smith. Will Smith isn't a part of this.
Yeah, you know he's in
Kill the bird watcher.
Yeah,
as soon as you can.
Yeah, they really dropped the ball on that.
Or if you have all this ability to do research and ruin people's life in 10 minutes, just do a little research and figure out what Will Smith knows about it. That's
Or maybe
it.
you don't have to kill anybody. Like if you have right.
No,
to your
you
point.
had to kill the congressman.
No, if you have to kill somebody. Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
And Jason Lee was asking for it.
They didn't kill him.
They kill that newspaper.
Fire truck
doesn't
killed
get a
him.
scene, but they kill the newspaper guy he called too. Sucks for that guy.
What is John Voight gaining from this bill being passed again? Is
Essentially,
it's life
what
or
he's
death?
doing will become legal. He'll have the say after that. They'll
Like
they'll have
Johnny.
they're tapping every wire in America. They'll have all they'll be Big Brother. You know,
Eagle Eye.
and that's what we're doing.
I got a question as
Underrated movie.
John Voight. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's got
reminded me of this
character.
movie, to be
This you got the government. You're chasing. You're running. You know, at the heart, what I like about those movies is there's just a little bit more plot. That it's not just one long chase scene.
Sure.
We break it up with some not character development, but some dynamic performances between Will Smith and Gene Hackman. You know,
Yeah,
it's
right.
not
They've
just
got
a
their
run.
own-
It's not just a chase. We get
Yes,
some
correct.
bunker
That's actually
time.
a
We get
great
some
point.
car read times. It breaks up enough where, to me, and this is take it as you will. I don't like the Bourne ultimatums for that purpose. It's just a chase.
Too much running.
It's just a run. I know there's some
No.
romantic scenes, but give me a little more.
It felt like that in like the if we're splitting it into whatever fourth, like the
Yeah.
third, fourth, it felt like a chase. But then like at the end, when he's kind of trying to tie in his story
Mm-hmm.
with the mob and like the FBI. Let's talk about that for a sec. How does Gene Hackman know where the FBI is located at the end when he's like, "Hey, watch out for the FBI"? He goes out, does this whole like act of coughing up. Whatever,
Well, I forget how, but
pretzels or blood,
Will Smith tells him
but then he
somehow.
winks.
He like points at.
He just says, "Watch out for the FBI."
We know that
Or
Will
what
Smith
does he
knows
say?
they're there.
He tells him
Yeah.
somehow. I forget how, but he lets him know that that's his play.
Also, in the surveillance van, everyone heard that conversation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're 2 seconds away. They have headphones on for listening.
Mark, what you're forgetting is they did ride around in an El Camino for a half a day. Their chemistry's mad on point.
True.
You throw the owlie, I'm coming up with the oop. We're going to take care of this today.
Couple of winks. When did they learn the winks? That's a thing they do now?
It's called chemistry. Winks? You don't learn it. You just have it.
You just do it, yeah. Cameron, if you winked at me, I don't know if I'd wink back.
It's just me coming on to you.
I got a whole question about Jason Lee. Really just his interaction at the lingerie store. How quickly, and it looks like they're probably 10 years out of college, would Will Smith give a business card and be like, hey, Jason Lee from college?
He's quick on the draw, isn't he?
Man, he was like fucking Doc Holliday.
That's
quick
almost
on
a
the trigger.
douchebag move to be able to just like, hey, what's up?
Oh, of course.
I've got my... Yeah.
So Will Smith's character works for the mob, and he's an unlikable guy, right?
He doesn't work.
Like
he doesn't work
guy.
for the mob. He's a lawyer going after the mob. He's a union guy who's.
I have missed all of this. I got lost in the sauce.
No, but to Jordan's point, he still had an affair like 4 years ago. He's still using his like ex-girlfriend to get some insider information about mob
bad form.
Ties
you don't keep in contact with one your college girlfriend when you're married, or two the girl you had an affair with. Also, like you can't do that anymore.
He can wipe his hands clean if he doesn't run into his old birdwatcher friend from high school. Where did he fucking know this guy from?
From
college, Georgetown. Knew him right away.
That guy did not go to Georgetown.
No.
No. He gave him whippets.
yeah, exactly. He paid for his tuition
that guy that
by
sold
selling
us
him
drugs,
whippets.
right?
So I do because most of my questions are. I actually think the movie, surprisingly, like we're 1998, 30, almost 30 years later, coming on that anniversary, 25 years later, whatever. They kind of nailed all the surveillance stuff. We lost that battle. The government and could you get away with anything now?
Yeah, and even like the data technology, it would still kept its intensity. Like it wasn't. It didn't take me out of it in any way, No,
not in any way. It was more just impressive. Like, hey, that.
So, did you guys see this? Like Did you see it when it came out in the 90s or like the early 2000s?
Yeah, when it came out, the year it came out, just rental.
So for me, just because of the technology now, I'm like I didn't bat an eye at that they could tap into whatever the way they did it with floppy disks and all that numbers and.
I guess to go to your question, the first time I saw it, I'm like, not in a million years. Way to go, sci-fi. Get the fuck out of here.
For me, watching it now, I'm like, I didn't put the time stamp on it that it was like 98, where like that didn't really exist at the time.
The satellite imagery, I feel like, was the first time I'd kind of seen that. I'm like, oh, they're just following him from space. They
and
get
then like
you
2 years later, Cameron played Metal
that was
Gear
the only
Solid
part.
I got one real question about the tech crew. Spot on. These guys are good at their job, ruining someone's life, following them around. Oh, he's on there. I got my 6 on my 7s. He's going up the stairs. They see an entire conversation where Will Smith's character is running up this hotel or whatever buildings he's in, right? Mm-hmm. And during this time, he's losing all of the bugs that they've planted on his body, right?
Yeah.
And then they see him at the top talking to somebody.
Yeah.
He's like, looks like he's got a friend. And yeah, but they don't even look into that for like another 45 minutes of movie time, it feels like.
I know.
Like, who's that guy on the roof?
I noticed that
what are you talking about?
that too.
How did you not get that in the moment?
Yeah, that's the first thing you should be doing. And also, bad form on Gene Hackman. Don't get with it. Like when he looks off in the helicopter in the distance, like they're coming, they already saw you. You should be nowhere near that.
Yeah. Honestly, Cam, that's a good point. Even before that, why is Bobby trying to even get in contact with Brill? If Brill knows that, just like stay away from him. Look, don't talk to this
He
guy.
doesn't know that Banks is dead yet, and he's just trying to protect her, but it's too late.
Fuck yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
And also, he doesn't seem that upset about it. He helps Will Smith a little too easy. He should just drive off and kick him out of the El Camino.
I mean, Brill's done
Rachel's dead. Yeah, you
bad
can't bring
stuff
her back,
as well, though, right?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's
done well. He was a former guy in the van. Is essentially what he says.
Yeah, but he was a foreign guy in the van. Like
he created the first generation of those trackers. Also, an animosity of bad form. Will Smith, immediately after he evades capture, after he dips like all these things, he goes straight home. And how do they not catch him if their house is surrounded and they have like surveillance everywhere? Like they just missed the garage, but
it was just in the garage and they didn't tap that.
Yeah,
they tapped the garage.
They tapped the garage.
They're all around the house. They saw him crawling in there.
They also tapped the nanny's car, even though it doesn't matter because they tracked it anyways.
Yeah.
They tapped everything.
Let's say, to play devil's advocate,
they tapped Eric, who was at Dylan's for who knows how long. Eric is just at Dylan's. Yeah.
Let's
God
assume they didn't
Dylan's
tap
parents.
the garage. The wife went into the garage.
And disappeared for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes. What were they doing?
And came back
Like,
flustered.
I'm sure she's just doing normal garage stuff.
Yeah, you know.
It's Christmas.
Well, the
time.
team they probably have downtime. Like, is it just one guy like sitting in front of like 50 screens?
That's true.
Maybe he falls
No,
asleep.
no,
'cause he
we know
movies
that
don't
that.
have-
me
It's at
believe
least
that.
two at a time, at least.
And also
time.
animosity,
Watching screens.
the wife flips back and forth so easily. She shouldn't trust Will Smith. There's a bunch of paper against him. He is in
She's
contact
like, you want to
with...
just fuck in the garage right now? I miss
Yeah, how
you."
accurate is that? If this was going on, your wife would
She'd be
want to
like,
have
"Get
sex
the
with you.
fuck
She's like,
out of
you've
the
been gone for
garage."
half a day.
Yeah.
I'm just a woman, right? That plays.
Also,
That's
she
pretty accurate.
raided the closet for the what presents, Jordan?
Hey, I'm not saying this
Yeah,
movie.
the Christmas presents. You fuck.
I'm not saying this movie isn't set at Christmas. That's 100% true. But I'm not watching this to get in the Christmas mood.
Don't bring me. Don't. I don't want to bring up the G word, Gremlins. But I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Same.
I'm fine.
You know, the more I go back to it, Gremlins has, as much as a Christmas adjacent movie exists, Christmas aesthetic. But it also has, green monsters that murder. And that takes me out of the Christmas mood.
Sure. Oh, we were kind of talking about this before, but again, like, if Will Smith can figure out who Brill is,
Who can't?
even before the roof part of it, like, he's out and about with him, and like the guy in the taxi sees him. Granted, I think he might get shot in the face or something, but they're good at their job, but they're bad at basic research. It seems, just they're missing a few steps.
Yeah, I also don't.
Yeah, you can't find any connection between Lisa Bonet and Brill and Gene Hackman.
Yeah, seems like that should be
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
obvious. Also, bad.
I mean, Gene Hackman did disappear for what seems to be like 30 years. He went,
Sure.
if not underground, into an abandoned
Correct.
building.
Well, that's actually a good point. That's to argue that. I mean,
He
they've got
kind of
no- they've
disappeared
got
on
no-
his own.
yeah,
From
he
what
just
I don't know.
left no trace.
And
yeah.
again,
Do you
a
know
bad
the
form
picture-
Will Smith. Not to make
Making
a
a call
phone.
immediately?
Not to make a phone call. Granted, you've been walking around easy peasy and hiding in your garage like nothing's happening. So maybe you feel pretty
He
untouchable.
did put on
but-
a stocking hat and a black trench coat, so it's pretty tough to.
He looked cool at the end with that, though. No.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool look.
So what was
Pulled it
the
off well.
what was the technology there? Yeah, they tracked his voice with like Shazam over the.
Oh no, this was a little
payphone?
confusing. They had his wife's. Who'd he call?
Yeah,
He
whoever
called his wife's
the
friend.
wife's friend, he'd be like, "Hey, here's exactly what's
Oh.
happening."
They had her phone.
He would never call that bad friend of Lisa Bonet and like tell her what's going down.
No, I'm pretty sure he calls to say,
Give me
"Hey,"
my wife.
he calls to say, "Hey, the newspaper says I'm a convicted murderer. Don't believe it and tell her not to believe it."
Yeah, what? That's a
what was
fucking
the-
frantic call that she's not
Yeah,
going to
what was the point of that call?
I got a question. How quickly can your life unravel that quickly? Couple
if you're
canceled
accused
cards.
of
That's it.
I think if you're accused of an affair, working with the mob, and murder within 24 hours, yeah, it's pretty easy to.
I'll tell you what, cancel both my cards, count me dead.
All right, that check. Oh, speaking of count me dead, if you got your whole house wired and you're a paranoid guy, you're thinking about blowing that up at the drop of a dime.
Here's how
Like, it worked out that he's covering up, but like, there's
Jordan?
no way that he didn't be like,
his character.
I see a mouse, I see a spider, I'm blowing that shit up.
it.
A bug?
No,
Yeah.
his character accidentally blew up 15 years ago just from old wiring. Who knows how long those gallons of just like gas have been sitting in those barrels? I don't know.
I this is why I don't wire a house. I just know
That's
that,
why,
like,
in case it becomes a MacGyver bomb.
I just couldn't trust myself with that. I'd be like,
Sure, I get that. Oh, another
so you had a bad day. You take a one down.
another animosity. This is kind of leading into the fact that they can just walk around so openly every time they ditch him, but they lose him in between two trains. Like, you can see them in between cars, and there's a helicopter.
It's like the bus that passes by and like you're not there
Yeah,
anymore.
like they have a long argument as if they're totally safe, but one of those trains is going to end eventually, and you hope it's yours, but maybe not. You might.
They don't even show us how they evade them.
They eventually their train
They're all
ends.
of a
They run
sudden
to an
under
underpass.
underpass
Yeah.
and they get in a car. That's it.
Counterpoint, I will say, if you make an ill-advised call at a come and go, you're going to be
And
caught pretty
you
easily.
often do, and you often are.
I'd say there
that's
is
a good
no-
point. Once you're lost, he could have gone anywhere, right? Like, especially if he doesn't go back to, I guess, your family.
Get out of the city, maybe get out of the area.
Yeah, we don't know.
Gene and go to.
We don't
Why?
necessarily know if they had a plan because Will Smith's stupidity, his character, ruined it so quickly that we had to just I don't know. It was so easy for them to set up. I don't get it.
Set up John Voight at the end.
Actually, yeah, it was too easy. Super easy.
Well, what'd you think about the ending?
Well, I kind of like we're turning the tables on him. I like the technology thing. We're like, now we're looking back at you. That part's fun, but unrealistic. Then once again, they're buying all this and able to do the surveillance while being surveilled.
I'm talking more about
He's talking about the diner scene, the shootout that you're like, I guess it's got to end somehow, right?
The movie just wiped its hands clean. I mean, it was awesome. It was a great scene, but you don't have to answer to anything now. Everyone's dead.
There's not a chance Will Smith didn't get caught by a stray bullet in there. People are shooting crazy.
No, not a chance. No. He caught 1 to 4.
I don't even think he ducked. I know he did, but not much.
Nothing will get through this tablecloth.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. I truly forgot. I guess maybe this is.
I literally have Will Smith definitely caught a stray or two at the end there.
What happens to Seth Green's character? He's not at the shootout at the end. He doesn't get arrested. He just disappears about midway through. Or am I wrong? Or did I miss something? Well, I'm done with this mission now. He just walks away.
He probably just drove the van away in his cool yellow glasses.
Cool yellow glasses.
Those are solid late 90s glasses.
Somehow it makes him more gingery.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
With the yellow glasses.
I don't remember necessarily seeing anything happen to him. We just know that Jack Black got out
Jamie Kennedy got out.
Jamie Kennedy, and that's it. And everybody else.
It sucks they made Jack Black go in there with a pistol. It didn't seem like he had good pistol. It didn't seem like he knew what he was doing.
No.
He's IT.
He would have shot himself, or he would have shot like Jamie Kennedy.
He's IT.
And again, Will Smith is either brilliant or stupid, but winging that plan could have gone very bad at the end.
Stupid.
It's very nice that mafia guy just speaks in innuendos and very vague just because of his profession. That's the only thing that saved him, is that he won't say anything real out loud in case he's being, there's a wire.
How did that not happen to that guy before, if that's the way his conversations go? Because I assume even though he didn't have the plot of that scenario,
and a jumpy chef in the back, a trigger happy chef.
That's what I'm
shotgun
saying.
Trigger happy.
Will pops out from like underneath the linen, like the table. He's getting shot in the face by that trigger happy chef. Boom, he's gone.
Oh, do you know what's nice about this scenario?
He dodged a murder threat against him too. Another one.
No, his marriage is just fine because Lisa Bonet's character is dead.
Dead.
So
and
you're
right.
No more issues for those two to work out.
Everybody's dead, and Gene Hackman's on a beach somewhere. I
that's
believe.
not going to come up anymore.
After everything, if I'm Will Smith, it's not cheeky Gene Hackman that you've bugged me again. Now I'm going to spend the next 2 months searching my house meticulously or just moving.
You're just so paranoid, like you're just searching everything every time you're taking a shit.
I don't like that at all, Gene Hackman.
What's the overall time those guys hung out together?
2 days?
2 days?
No.
Tops?
Oh, it's like a week, because then they do the whole tearing apart John Voight's life, so they have a second where they're doing some stuff. A few days.
But I never want to see that guy again.
No.
Oh, that cat was way too well behaved, right? I've seen a cat after an explosion.
Oh, yeah. John Voight lands on that bag tripping over the railroad tracks with the cat supposedly in there. That cat's banged up. That cat's not going to be the same after the explosion and the crushing.
Also, that's a bunker cat. That cat's not made for the outside.
It's never seen light before. Oh my god! Oh my god! The sun.
That guy's been behind copper wire its whole lives. I don't even know. I'm sure it has some kind of weird deficiency with it. So, as much as I like Will Smith's character joking with Gene Hackman's character, Jesus Christ. Gene Hackman's character. In the moment, I'm like, why are you being so flippant with the guy that you are relying on to save you? Like, let him do his job and stop making fun of him for being an old guy or crazy. Obviously, this crazy man, it's like, why do you think I strayed from the straw? I'm not so crazy now. Like, just listen to the guy, let him do his job.
Also, his first encounter with the guy, he just opened a bag of chips and just dumped it on him. Didn't need to dump it on him.
Well, I know, but it was kind of funny. Yeah, you did, Mark.
It was funny. I literally laughed out loud. I'm like, he just dumped the chips right on Will Smith.
There's a line where Will Smith is like, I'm the only person you got and you're the only guy I got. I'm like, I don't think that I don't think Gene Hackman needs you at all,
I think he
buddy.
could just disappear into the night and he's fine still. You're the problem.
Yeah,
Gene Hackman is that's what Batman would really be like.
He's got a fake ID.
As part of the bugging process, the crew leaves Will Smith one suit.
Yeah.
He makes a comment like, they only left me one suit and it's this ugly brown suit. I'm like, that's a nice looking suit. Stop.
And he's even like, it's like 3 years old. I'm like, oh great. That's like way more recent than the last suit I got.
Yeah, it's great.
That one better fit me till I die.
Yeah, it's a good suit. Yeah,
and he had all of his stuff labeled with his like initials. That was crazy. Kind of a wild move.
I did get a suit for my wedding, and I monogrammed it because they're like, "Do you want it monogrammed?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yep."
you do.
But in that
Really?
moment, I'm like, "Fuck."
Like in the tag area?
The pocket breast square.
Oh, nice.
Like on the inside.
I like that.
Oh,
Yeah, but
wow.
but now that I was watching the movie
Framed
2 nights
for
ago,
murder.
exactly, I'm like, fuck, they got me. Like, goddamn
Can
it.
I intend to murder?
Between that and Cameron doing 23andMe, I am totally
you're done.
fucked.
You're done, though.
I got no chance. Gene Hackman is one of the rare people that can play an evil guy and a good guy so well.
True.
Obviously, he does gruff, but I'm sure lots of people can do it, but they don't get the chance.
It's a Tommy.
But
You know
he
what
might
that-
be up there on the Mount Rushmore of good guy, bad guys type person.
Do you know that you know what that character trait is?
What?
It's a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's a coachable quality. That's true.
He's got to be bad, but he's got to be good. He's got to be
Yeah.
inspiring, but he's got to kick your ass a little bit.
And a little nurturing. You got to be able to a little nurture in
you gotta
there. It's in there.
nurture.
You know,
And the voice, yeah.
tough love.
And with that on our mind, should we move it on to recasting? Recasting. Pretty big. I didn't do any of the IT guys in the chair, and I think you guys did, so I'll let you guys kick it off first.
It's a good point. I think if you do one, you probably just have to do all of them. But I just did I could see for Jack Black's character, I could see who do you think I'm going for?
John.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
John
He
Philip Seymour Hoffman is one of the tech guys. I think he's sort of the stonery, nerdier guy that Jack Black plays.
He did seem like he was missing from the IT crew. I also could have said the redhead that I just did from Blast from the Past, or Sean whatever from That Thing You Do.
Oh, okay, sure. Just take the crew from Twister.
Yeah.
and throw him.
Yeah,
in
anyone
there.
from there is fine too.
So there's a lot of different like crews that I mean they were pretty much all in this movie, but yeah, like the Twister crew would have been good. You kind of spill into Ocean's 11 already with Scott Conn.
Yeah.
But there's two particular the way I feel about Jack Black, who obviously was probably a comedic actor because we're already doing Tenacious D, but obviously becomes a bigger comedic actor.
Mm-hmm.
There's two in particular. I'm like, oh, they could have easily done this earlier in their career before they became stars. And that's Seth Rogen or Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
They're like clear-cut guys in the chair before they become famous. That's where I would go.
You know what? I'll even say throw Bill Hader in there. He's fun.
Oh, yeah. He was the guy in the chair in Knocked Up. It was just, rather than being in the chair, he was like a film editor or
That's
a
great.
TV editor, right?
Yeah.
Yep, love that.
Let's do the romantic interest next. Let's do his wife, Carla, because I feel like she's in a little less maybe than Banks. I did Tessa Thompson. You would know her from Westworld and Creed.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yep.
I went Gabrielle Union.
You're a big Gabrielle
Good
Union.
one,
I'm
too.
not surprised. That I like that.
Maybe too much.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Mark?
And that's pretty much all I know of her.
Carla Dean, I did Taraji P. Henson.
Oh, I definitely thought of that. It seems like they were probably going up for the same roles most of their career.
Regina King and her, they're very.
Regina King was winning them earlier. Taraji P. Henson's cleaning it up now.
Let's move it on to Banks. I think you guys are going to hate mine because I did Zoe Kravitz. I just moved it on to the next generation.
Okay, we obviously could have done that, but that's like,
I know.
I thought
but I
it.
just did it. So
It's the first one I thought, but I thought of another Zoe, maybe incepted
Oh.
me. Soldana.
I like that actually. That's good.
Damn, that's
really good.
actually normally the route I go. And then I went Zendaya.
Yeah, that works for
Okay.
you. I was
Yeah.
lazy and I'm sorry. I
Could have
apologize.
thrown up Halle Berry as well.
Halle Berry's on my short list.
Yeah.
For either of the. Yep. Let's do Hicks. We don't need to do a bird watcher. I did Ryan Reynolds just because he could be like a stonery kind of like bird watcher dude.
I thought about him.
Early
I mean,
Reynolds.
if we're not doing, I don't know. It's just a silly recast.
Jordan, hear me out. Hicks, the younger bad guy. I tried him a few weeks ago. You didn't like it. Christian Slater.
Oh, well, yeah, that's like on the nose.
Thank you.
It's just the weird thing, though, is like.
Christian Slater, the surfer.
No.
Did that happen
That's
last
Kelly
time?
Slater. That's Kelly
Interview
Slater.
with the Vampire.
Christian Slater,
he is the
interview with
interviewer.
the interviewer.
What's the?
That's a bad video game, by the way. The surfing video.
Oh,
What do
wasn't
you do?
great.
You ride away.
Also, you would know him from the cult classic movie Heathers. You would know him from Heathers.
Did a complete looks like did Mark Paul Gazer. You're gonna know him as Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
They looked. I kind of got the vibe of looks, so mine wasn't inspired. I don't feel good.
Mark, who was yours? Did we already do it? Sorry.
This was tough. I was actually surprised that you picked to recast him.
I don't know. As far as just like
didn't have
the crew, he at least had like a main part and role.
In a weird way,
did you do Tony Soprano? Did you do the mob boss?
No, but I should have. I kind of forgot about it.
He was in it just as much.
Yeah.
I didn't do him either. Aaron Eckhart.
Sure, I'll take it.
Oh,
yeah, that's fine with me. Let's move it on maybe to the actual villain. Let's move it on to Reynolds. I did something interesting. I just put a father in here. James Caan. Scott Caan's his son. He's in it, but what do you think of that? You would know him from like Christmas movie, Elf. He's the dad in that.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, sure.
I mean, he's obviously, I mean, he's also just a famous actor, James Caan from other things, but just for reference of something.
Reason I kind of had a tough time with this. Like, it could be so many people. So
he looks like a politician too. Like, he looks like somebody who would work in the N.S.A. or the CIA or whatever. Like,
mine looks a little less white collar, but I went Liam Neeson.
Okay. Yeah, I could maybe see that. I don't know his accent.
Just let him speak however he wants to, because he works for the N.S.A.
Yeah,
you
sure.
can be foreign. Whatever.
That's fine with me.
I didn't feel great about it. I still don't. I don't know why.
Mark, who'd you have?
He also played a Nazi in the 90s, although
True.
his was Oscar Schindler. His was a good one. I guess if there is a good one.
You can go kind of that, like, the politician, old.
Which, yeah.
Martin Sheen.
I thought about it. Yeah, I definitely thought about it.
That works.
The problem with him is he seems good. Congressman who gets killed.
Yeah, I thought that's exactly what I thought.
Perfect.
That's why I didn't do it.
Let me do like a Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
that works.
Hear me out. Robert Duvall.
Yep. Even better.
Ooh, you just spurred me, and this is Ed Harris.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Ed Harris would work perfect.
Robert Duvall, that's a good one, Cameron. That actually is a good one.
Thank you. Let's move on to some heroes. What about Brill? I just watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 70s version, not too long ago, so I think this incepted me. But Donald Sutherland, maybe just a little younger than we usually see him.
I don't mind that, actually. That one surprised me. He could also be a bad guy. He can play both
I thought
ways.
about making him the bad guy, too, but I was like, I kind of want to see him as a likable, jovial, well, not jovial, but like, I don't know, a cynical guy.
He is jovial, especially when he was a younger actor. He was like funnier than he aged.
That's why I'm saying he could be a kind of funny, cynical character, I think. I think he could play that.
That one's not bad. I did two. I did one super on the nose, and it incepted me, and I'm going to watch this later. I did Tommy Lee Jones.
It's the voice,
I thought about it. That's who I almost.
It's just everything.
That's what I almost said in the last category when you guys were talking about you need like
but
a coach.
I also watched Will Smith in a movie. I'm like, who would Will Smith or Will Smith type character? Oh, it's called Men in Black. So that's what I did and whatever I said.
Okay.
But I also thought, and I'm probably carrying this on from Deep Blue Sea, but Samuel L. Jackson would kill in this role too.
I actually kind of thought that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I did anything super inspired. I kind of like your Donald Sutherland better.
Thank you. Mark, did you go?
I'm doing J.K. Simmons.
Okay.
Oh, that one's
That's good.
actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of just who you see him kind of like paralleled with Gene Hackman a lot. It's kind of the present day Gene Hackman.
I like that one a lot, actually. You do J.K. Simmons a lot, and I kind of forget about him. Hear me out, a current Kurt Russell?
I thought about Kurt Russell somewhere, but I just didn't peg it.
Okay. I could kind of see him. With that, let's move on to Robert Dean. I've used him a few times, but I actually kind of like this. Anthony Mackie, you would know him from Avengers. He's also in Behind the Wire. He's in a lot of shows. We Are Marshall. You know Anthony Mackie.
You know who he is at this point, and if you don't, you're never going to know.
True, but he's funny. He's charming. He can be in action movies. He could be leading. He's leading man.
I don't dislike it. Don't like it. It's fine.
Who do you guys got?
Before Tony Scott realizes he wants to go with this man, he went with this man. It's Denzel. It's Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I was thinking that could work. Funny, you said Samuel Jackson. I kind of really thought he could maybe work there, but I mean, he looks a little too old maybe, but I don't know.
The only thing is when Samuel Jackson, the only times we see him younger, he's got a receding hairline and a cigarette, so he looks older.
That's why I couldn't imagine it. And him just bald, I guess, it's fine. But.
So I thought if you want a stereotypical, kind of like lateral move, charismatic, Jamie Foxx, but he might be too much for the role.
I thought that as well.
So Will Smith plays the role well because he's kind of a younger lawyer, right? Like
yeah.
If you have
I think the youth has something to do with it.
If you have sort of a grizzly, if you have just sort of an older Denzel or like a Samuel L., it doesn't play as well. So I think that's where Will Smith and even Mackie and even, who'd you just say? Jamie Foxx?
I said Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
But you know who I really like and I think could play... It'd be a little different, but it's the youthfulness of the role that I think that is implied there. I think this would be, and I know this is a broken record, but this would be a great Dev Patel movie that will never happen.
Yeah, I could see that.
Fucking kill this movie. He's one of my favorite Everymans that isn't an Everyman.
I like that one a lot. I want to keep it somewhat of color, and I didn't want to take that away, but I also thought this just seems like a Ryan Reynolds movie, kind of a funny young lawyer who's thrown into an action movie. It's that one where he's in a new body or whatever. I mean, he's made like 3 versions of this on Netflix, kind of.
I don't know if you said the what if casting who, but I think this could almost be any leading man with a pulse.
Well,
like is going to be okay in the movie.
Absolutely.
Like
you couldn't be more right, because listen to this what ifs. Number 1, they wanted Tom Cruise, but instead he did Eyes Wide Shut that year.
That's the right call.
Yeah.
I think history proved itself. Plus, he already made this movie. It's called The Firm.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to get typecasted. It was also partly. Same thing with Mel Gibson. They reached
Is that
out.
80s movie?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
late 89,
yeah.
maybe. I think it's like late. Mel Gibson, but he just made Conspiracy Theory. Same thing. He's like, I don't want to keep making the same spy movie.
Yeah, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson could have been good for the Gene Hackman role.
Yeah, that could, well, currently, but not then. He was just too young.
Yeah, not then,
George Clooney, they reached out. These were all, of course, for the main role. But same thing. He made The Peacemaker, and he's like, I don't want to make 2 of the same movie in a row. This one's weird. Sylvester Stallone. I kind of can't see him as a lawyer, but definitely action leading man.
That's the worst. You just can't be jacked and just be doing stuff.
Tell that to The Rock.
Like
Like
mob
this.
boss or so. Yeah, like you can't just.
Yeah, he could have definitely been in the diner.
Anyone with any leading man with a pulse.
Yep.
I guess you're wrong there.
Yeah, that's true.
And finally, this one's kind of fun though. Sir Sean Connery, they really wanted for Brill. And
ooh, that would have been good. I mean, but that's like Untouchables.
But he turned it down because the next year he was slated to be as Morpheus with Will Smith in The Matrix, but that got completely recasted.
Keanu would be perfect. I mean, now that we're talking about Matrix, like that's
Yeah,
It would have been. There was a moment where it was Will Smith, Sean Connery as Morpheus.
wow.
But
you know the 2 weird things though. The George Clooney one, for some reason, and I know he's been in sort of more action movies. I can't see him running or feeling frantic.
I can see it.
I could see the N.S.A. chasing him, and he'll be like, "I'm gonna have a coffee, and I'm gonna take care of this when I get to it."
Well, let us know what you thought of our recasting this week, but we're going to move it on to Mount Rushmore top 4.
Mount Rushmore top 4.
Mount Rushmore top 4. This week we're doing our top guy in the chair for movies. If you don't know what we're talking about,
So what does that mean?
the most recent Spider-Man, Ned, he describes him as the guy in the chair, the IT, usually the nerds in the comic relief, giving our hero orders and directions and stuff.
So I sort of knew, like, just subconsciously about the trope, but I didn't realize it was even called something like that, like so specifically. But it makes sense though.
More recently with the Spider-Man movies, it got that moniker. But this week we're going to go Mark, me, Jordan. Mark, who are you going to go as your IT guy first?
So when you explained this to me over the text chain, the first person I thought of was from National Treasure.
That
Riley.
was going to be mine too. He's a funny one. He does become part of the action by the end,
Right, he's not necessarily in the chair, but he kind of plays that trope. No,
yeah, but these people
he's the guy in
either
the
join
chair. He's a tech guy.
These people either join the action by the end or they die midway through the movie, so we have someone to root for.
it's a
That's
sad
what happens
death
in these
too.
characters.
It's a sad death.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I liked that one too when I came across it.
I think with that, then I'm gonna go Alfred to Batman. You can take your movie, you can take your version, but he's.
Which Alfred are you taking?
I kind of want the original one from the
Begins.
Tim.
Beyond?
I want the Tim Burton Alfred that I'm used to.
okay.
That old guy.
Don't hate that. I guess you kind of go. I might go piggyback Morgan Freeman. Kind of becomes the guy in the chair in the Nolan ones.
Yeah, that's
I
I
all.
don't know
not
if
bad.
I want Michael Caine though.
Yeah, I want someone a little
Kind
more
of a downer,
able-bodied.
making me too much tea.
Yeah, or a nice gin and tonic or something, but definitely not like helping you out of a sticky situation. I'm gonna kind of piggyback in this. Okay, so initially I thought, I guess Simon Pegg's got to be there somewhere, but it turns out it's just Mission Impossible, and I just don't know those as well.
Yeah, you get two. Simon
Scotty.
Pegg and Luther in the Mission Impossible series are both kind of the
But
that guy.
I'm gonna and tell me this is loud, but this is kind of what popped up in my head. Obviously, there's more better heist movies or whatever, but I'm kind of gonna go to just to play something a little different. Joseph Gordon-Levitt from Inception.
That kind of works.
He's kind of the guy in the chair in that crew, even though he's in a
He's definitely in an action role, but somewhat. Yeah, there might be other characters in that movie more deserving
he's the one
of that,
explaining
but
a lot to us, and he's setting everybody up with the hoses and stuff like that, and he's doing all the timing and the kicks.
For Batman,
kind of the guy in the chair.
For Batman nerds out there, I can also say Oracle in the Batman lore. That's when Batgirl gets paralyzed and she just becomes the guy in the chair. So that's probably a more appropriate one.
One that I saw while you told me, Jarvis. That's the ultimate guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy in the mask. Like,
Iron Man.
Everywhere.
That of course is
that was
probably
that was at the top of the list for everyone. So that must be
Simon Pegg also has a guy in the chair character in Star Trek, but then I
said Scotty earlier.
Yeah, but then I said fuck it, let's give it to Chekhov, the guy that died a few years ago from his own car. He's kind of that too. So let's give him some cred.
That's
Dennis Nedry, Jurassic Park.
I like that one. That's our villain kind of guy in the chair version.
Sort of just like asshole. Yeah.
You know what? I'll top that. Not top that, but I'll piggyback that too and say Samuel L. Jackson, Jurassic Park. Same guy, same chair.
What was
same chair,
what was
different
his
guy.
Catchphrase.
Got that
there?
cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Hang on to your butts.
Hang on to your
Hold
butts.
on to your
Yeah,
butts.
that's a good one.
I want some butts.
We've said it a bunch, but the whole crew from Twister. Let's go ahead and just bring them in here.
I do
Bring
like
them
Philip
in.
Seymour Hoffman as guy in the chair. He's the Jack Black type role, obviously the guy in the chair. But who doesn't like Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Do you know
The
what I was
Ocean's
thinking?
Crew.
With
The
Ocean's
Ocean's
Crew,
Crew.
Saving
Oddly
Silverman,
enough,
Jack
you
Black
take-
and Steve Zahn.
Dude, I gotta watch that movie again. I used to watch that all the time. Like
Which
in high
movie?
school.
Saving Silverman?
Silverman.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
They're
one.
literally an earpiece.
Jason Biggs, right?
Yep, Jason Biggs, Jack Black, I believe, and I think Steven Zahn. Zahn, is that his name?
Yeah, Steven Zahn's in it. And then who's the girl? I can't remember.
I can't remember either anymore, but that's definitely a crew movie, kind of.
What about M from James Bond?
Yeah, that'll
she's
work.
all-
She's definitely
yeah,
giving
he's-
orders and crew behind it.
Yeah.
The weird thing about the Ocean's movie is the little guy in the seat is the worst in the crew. He's that fidgety guy.
Oh
And
yeah,
I take everybody.
The nervous,
I take
sweaty
everybody
guy.
outside of him.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that guy in that seat.
The Matrix, the first one, I kind of forget his name, but whoever's in front of the computer.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
big. Give him
Forgot
the
about
phones
that.
getting
A
out.
couple mission controls came across from from any
Ooh,
space
Ed
movie,
Harris.
I guess.
Ed Harris again. Yeah, that's kind of a guy in the chair there. Granted, he's more
That is
like
a guy.
they're usually talking.
He's the lead.
Yeah, you're usually talking to.
He's got
someone
like
else.
nothing but guys in the chairs in Mission Control, but he's the guy.
You guys ever seen The Right Stuff?
No, that's
Long ass movie.
that's
Check
Paul
it out, though.
Newman and no, that's a space
I'm
movie.
pretty sure
right?
that's Ed Harris too.
Is it?
Could be wrong.
No,
about
I've not seen it. Which is
Wait,
weird,
is that
'cause
the
I
old
like-
people that go to space?
that's
it's-
Space
it's
Cowboys.
like-
Oh, okay, because I've seen that. We should do Space Cowboys.
No, it's like the one about the first orbit. I'm pretty sure around the Earth. I think.
Yeah,
There was a lot of cartoon.
It was,
and
it's
superhero
mostly
stuff,
comic, cartoon. Yeah,
comic stuff.
Well, we just don't know that as much, and we don't want to, piss you off on our lack of knowledge. So let us know some of your favorite IT people in the chair. But thanks for listening to our take on Enemy of the State. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate and review. If you want more content out there, make sure you like the whole Majestic Jam Network, Urban Hermit, I'm Not Crazy, the Highwire Podcast. If you want to keep the conversation going, make sure you hit us up at coldclassicspodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on social media to keep the conversation going. Until next time, we'll check you again. Bye-bye. Bye.